In our Open HPI course, Cyber Threats by Malware, we now have a look to the attackers and their motivation. I remind you, this is a situation, we have the internet, we have so many networks that are connected, interconnected in the internet, and which provides this virtual network which offers so many services to the users. Users are accessing the services in the internet by means of their tools, their laptops, their smartphone, their tablets, and then we have the attackers which are really attacking using all possibilities to attack the internet services, the user, to get access to their data, to misuse the services, to find the possibility to earn money in a criminal way. And what we want to do is to have a closer look on the different types of attackers in the internet. So let's start with the so-called insiders. That are the company's own employees. They could attack or steal company's resources. For example, confidential documents or servers misusing their privilege in the company. And this is often much easier for insider to do than for externals, because we have the imagine that there is a world outside the company and outside the network and the services of the company, and there are the bad guys. And inside the service, the company's boundaries, there are the good sides. And many of the security infrastructure is designed following this image. But of course, this image is wrong. The attackers can also sit inside the company, and they could have different motives. For example, simply curiosity or frustration about the work, revenge, greed, envy. There are many human motivations that insider brings to have a look to some secret documents, to try to get access to a server or others. So insider attacks are particularly dangerous. Particularly dangerous because they come from inside the company's network, from the intranet. And I already mentioned many security and protection tools, like for example firewalls, are typically designed in a way that messages that come from the inside are not taken with the same care as messages that come from the outside. So the motives or the behavior, it could be naivety, it could be carelessness. This opens doors for social hacking that provides attackers a possibility to bring the people, inside a company, for example, to do something they would not do alone, for example, download some malware or others. And there is an increased risk by these types of attack because of the integration of home offices. The idea, bring your own device, use your device as well in a private life, as well for the business. This inside and connected to the resources of our corporate networks, this makes the situation much more difficult to protect the system, and it makes it easier for the attackers to attack, to steal resources or misuse resources inside the company's network. So the non-compliance with internal security instructions, that opens the door for attackers. So here it's really important for the companies to educate their people, to formulate clear rules. That's called security policy, so that the people are not, the insiders are not doing by means of carelessness or with activity attacks in the network. Another group, potential group of attackers in the internet are the so-called script kiddies. These are attackers without deep cybersecurity knowledge, who launch cyber attacks using hacker tools, looking in the internet for such hacker tools and play around with these hacker tools and try to apply them. For that reason, often one speaks of the script kiddies, of school kids or students that also have time, that are driven by which are driven by curiosity, just for fun to do something, show off that one is able to have an impact by means of such an attack. So the indiscriminate and it's done usually without direct criminal intent. Mostly young people, I already mentioned pupils, students starting to learn about cyber security, they are experimenting and looking around. And since it's so easy to find hacking tools in the internet, which can be used for such cyber attacks, which can easily downloaded and then misused, makes this type of attack also dangerous. In particular, such denial of service attack, DOS, are dangerous. Here, by means of a huge number of requests to services, the service is brought in a situation that it's no more able to regularly respond to all these requests. These are not requests for using the service. These are only a huge number of requests to attack the service, to make the service no more available for other users. So to overload the situation. Another potential attacker on the internet are the hackers. Unfortunately, the term hacker has different interpretations. Originally, the term was used in recognition of particularly creative and talented individuals which were able to design such an attack. I mentioned today the attacker, the cyber criminals can get the attack tools easily from the internet. So this is no more proof that they are able to design this by himself. Later then, hacker has a got a negative connotation by the media to the indiscretion and damages by their cyber attacks. Sometimes they want to shed light to a certain point, but in doing that they create a big damage. So typically now hacker is no more used in this originally positive meaning. Mostly this term refers to people with in-depth technical knowledge. And if we have a closer look, then today often hackers are categorized in different groups. We have the white hat hacker, we have the gray hat hacker, we have the black hat hacker, we have hacktivists. Let's have a closer look. When we speak about white hat hacker, these are the good hackers. These are the ethical hackers. These are professional experts who look for security vulnerabilities in computer systems, in application services networks. So for example, we develop a large Schulcloud system, and we asked such ethical hackers to attack this, what we are designing, to find out whether there are vulnerabilities before we make this system public. So this is the help that white hat hackers are providing. Motives are good Samaritan, increase cybersecurity awareness. So they perform security analysis of systems. They perform penetration tests to detect security gaps and report these gaps to the owner of the system, so that the owner is able to increase the security of the system. So the information of the authorized owner about the discovered security gaps, this is a characteristic of the work of the white hat hacker to help to improve the security of that computer systems. And what they do with this, they help to prevent future attacks on the system by cyber criminals. If we look to the other side, these are the black hat hacker. These are the also called the evil hackers and cyber criminals. Mostly, these are professional computer experts who hack the computer system with some criminal motivation, to do some criminal activity. For example, to steal data, to manipulate the system, to install a backdoor, to be able to get access to the system. So they do this for self-interest, for example, to get money by selling the thefted data and greed for profit. So motives here are typical, the motives of criminals to easily earn money, to get power, blackmail, notoriety, and others. So the exploits that are discovered from discovered security gaps, these are done to gain unauthorized access to the system. Here, I better say unauthorized. Authorized was that when they find a way, for example, to theft the data of authorized users or find ways to overcome this authorization, then they get access to the system and can do their evil work. The aim is to launch crimes such as data theft, identity theft, service destruction, and others, for their own benefits or for on behalf of others to gain money by means of their attack. In the most cases, the discovered security gaps are kept secret. So when they find a way how it's possible to attack a system and to break into a system, then typically they will not tell how they did it to prevent that this vulnerability is closed. So they share this knowledge with other black hat hackers, for example, to get money. They give this information in darknet, to earn money and support other cyber criminals. The black hat hackers could sell stolen information. They could sell it to the public. Usually it's organized and done in the darknet. Here, for example, some information that you can find here in this cited website. For example, when you want to buy an email accounts, you can do this for a few dollars. If you want to get illegally get a driving license information, you have to pay about $20. Credit card details are available between $8 and $22, and medical records up to $1,000. This black hat hacker also provide services and tools for various illegal activities. For example, tools to hack Facebook accounts. You have to pay for an attack over 3 months here only $20, or to change the rating on Google and Co, or to access special user accounts. Such things are sold as a service, typically in dark nets, so that other cyber criminals can misuse this access or this data for their work. And when we speak about grey hat hacker, then it's an intermediate group between the white hat hacker and the black hat hacker. Sometimes they do good work, sometimes they do bad work. Also, these are mostly professional computer experts who have both benign and malicious selfish goals. So the exploit found which are misusing a security gap in the computer systems. Sometimes they is announced, sometimes it is sold. So they possibly launch criminal activities for their own profit. This grey hat hacker found security gaps to increase security awareness. So this is some positive thing what they are doing. And a special group of this grey hat hacker are so-called activists. Hacktivist is created, this word, from hacker and activist. So hacktivists are individuals or groups who hack computer systems for ideological reasons, for social, political or religious reasons. So motives are they want to raise awareness, there's a self-ego, there are political goals they perform. So they launch attacks to computer systems to highlight some issues to the public. For example, they believe with this activity to contribute to higher causes. They do not shy away from criminal activities for following their political, their ideological thinking. And they try to influence the media and the public opinion, often with false reports or confusing ideological phrases. Some known groups here are the group Anonymous, which is such an activistic group. And then when we consider the attackers, the motivation of the attackers in the internet, we have the common criminals. So criminals who use the internet for their activities. They do their traditional criminal work and use the internet to prepare this, to exchange information with the partners. And they, of course, want to use the potential of the internet as a global marketplace for their criminal activities. So they use the internet for criminal activities, for example, drugs and arms, trafficking, extortion, computer fraud, and other things. For the authorities, it becomes more difficult to enforce the law and investigate the criminal activities on the internet than in the physical world. So therefore, the governments may be interested to install backdoors in cryptographic protected systems to get access to the information that are cryptographic protected, exchanged by such criminals and terrorists. And then the next group of attackers with some own motivations are secret services and are attackers that do espionage. The extensive possibilities of the internet offer high potential for spies, for secret services. So economic crime is to steal confidential information, development information, spying out competitors in any area. For espionage, spying out on political interesting actors, spying out the communication of politicians and of other countries, spying out international political organization and others, and of course performing politically or economically motivated cyber attacks on services or on computer systems. One example to mention here is Stuxnet. Stuxnet is a malware or a group of malware that attacking Windows networks and proprietary programmable systems of nuclear plants with the aim of destroying the Iranian uranium enrichment plants. And this, of course, was organized by such attackers from the field of secret services and espionage. And this is where we have a closer look in our excursus when we speak about advanced persistent threat. And then here also this is a notion you should remind, so-called zero knowledge vulnerabilities. These are vulnerabilities not detected yet and not publicly known. And these secret services and espionage, they have a lot of means and money in the back. They often use such zero knowledge vulnerabilities for their work. There are more motivations, but this is to see that the attackers often have very different backgrounds and very different motivations for their cyber criminal activities. And this is important to take into account when we think about how to protect our systems.